Welcome to the Compass Chronicles podcast, where fandom meets faith. This show explores the intersection of popular culture and biblical truth. From anime and gaming to comics and film, each episode examines the stories we love through the lens of faith that is thoughtful, grounded, and real. This is a space for honest conversation, deeper reflection, and fresh perspective. And now, here are your hosts, Javier and Mickey.
Welcome to the Compass Chronicles podcast, where fandom meets faith. I am Javier. I'm glad you're here with us. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for listening. And please don't forget to hit the follow button, the like button, share it if you think this episode will touch you and touch anyone else. I'm here with my co-host, Mickey Woolery. I'm going to let her introduce herself today.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Compass Chronicles. And thank you, Javier. It's glad to be here as always. And I'm excited to talk about where we are headed with this episode.
Yeah, we are excited of the things that are coming up on the podcast, things that we all are both doing separately. We all have our other podcasts that we are doing. And this is one of the collaborations that we both have. And I'm excited to have Mickey with me on everything we do. It's good to have another person's perspective other than your own, and you get to learn a lot from other people when you do have a co-host. We're moving into some things that we're looking forward to moving into, which is more of movies, more comics, more anime. I know the last couple of episodes have been a little serious, but I think sometimes that's needed in our space. I think sometimes we have to ground ourselves and know that God is the center of all we do. It's not just about our fandom and our likes, but we are moving forward to talk more about that and how it integrates in our faith. And I think me and Mickey are excited for doing that. We have a lot of ideas. We're planning a lot of stuff that hopefully in God's hands will work. But I'm going to let Mickey just talk about her plans and what she wants to move forward with and things that she may like, to talk about. And if you guys out that are listening have any ideas, please send us an email or DM us so we can talk about them. So.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Yes, definitely love where we're going with this podcast and what we're talking about with talking about superheroes and anime and manga and all that. And we are going to be diving in, and we want your input. We want you to engage, and we want to have guests. So if this is you that we're talking to, if you're an artist and you create comics of your own, we would love to talk to you about even what you're working on, what your creations are when it comes to this topic of discussion. There are lots of different varieties of superhero, villain topics out there.
Mm-hmm.
But I know there's also a lot of creators out there that are working on their own stuff behind the scenes. And also we want to talk about designing costumes and characters and kind of storylines behind each specific character, and kind of just what brings a whole story into place, whether it's a good guy versus the bad guy, and the bad guy turns into a good guy, or whatever the story is. We want to hear what you have to offer, and we want to bring that to the table, and we just want to talk about it openly and have fun with it, because in the Bible, we talk about faith, but it talks about having an imagination. God created us to be creative. He created us with creativity. And I know that He gave us the ability to create. And I think that with this podcast, we have an open forum where we can just talk about so much creativity here. What do you think, Javier?
I couldn't agree with you more. I think we want to make this a safe space for every kind of artist, every kind of fan base, whatever you like. Obviously, we are faith-based, so most of what we'll talk about how it relates to our faith. But we also want to talk about, we want to talk to people about their imagination, about how do they get that creativity, how do they feel when they create something, or when an author writes a page or a book. We want to talk to you too. We want to talk to authors. We want to talk to anyone who is in the creative space. It could be podcasters. It could be people who just do content, who do videos. We just want to be known to everyone who's around, that it can come here and discuss the stuff that they enjoy, and also have a safe space to ask questions, things that you may not understand. And we always try to put the light of God in there, because we know that the ultimate person who imaginates everything, who has done everything in this world, is our God, our Father. So we always want that to be centered. But we think that it's going to be fun. We think that there's a lot of people out there that are Christians that still love anime and comics, but maybe a little confused or not understanding of why they can read this or not read this or anything else. And we want to be that lamp. We want to be that light that shows you, yes, you can have creativity, you can love certain things, but God is always the center of it. And Mickey said it exactly like, God gave us imagination. He gave us creativity. So I think if that's not used or talked about or blessed, then I think it's wasted. There's a famous thing I like to say. It's always, I think it's a Robert De Niro statement. Actually, it's a wasted talent. I always believed in people, if they're talented and they don't do anything with it, it's wasted talent. God gave you a talent to share it, to give it. And if you hold on to it, you're sort of being a little selfish because God gave you that. But we can understand people get nervous or afraid of people criticizing them or anything like that. So those are the people I'm calling here today. If you're scared or you're nervous or you have an idea and we'll talk with you. We'll have fun talking about your idea, your vision, and we can also talk about other things. And we, like I said before, this is not going to be the longest episode, only because we just wanted to tell you guys what's going on. We're excited. We're going to have a few people on that I think are going to be fun to talk to, and knowledgeable. And I also, want to thank Mickey for being patient with me, because I can be absolutely insane in the things that I do. I'm very, I love this podcast, and I love the people that I deal with, and everyone, and that whole space. I think it's a blessing for me. People don't realize that this is my therapy. This is my mental health therapy, talking to other people, talking to Mickey and everyone else. And I thank God that He's given us this way to talk. So anyway, I'm gonna let Mickey talk about what her plans are, what she has in the pot cooking and all that, and so we can also enjoy that.
Well, thank you. I love what you said about it being therapy, because art is very therapeutic in general. I am an artist. I'm a fluid artist. I actually teach art in an art studio. I have my own art gallery and a bookstore. So it kind of goes right in line with this podcast, which is kind of cool.
That's
But I
awesome.
also know that if you don't take your creativity to the next level, you're just a sitting duck, and you don't want to be that sitting duck. And we
There
want
you
to
go.
talk about how do we go to the next level. Let's get buzzed about it. Let's get hyped and discuss, what's working, what's not working, what's coming out that's new, what's popular, what's kind of fizzled and died out, and basically just kind of in a whole realm, just bring it all to the table so we can just kind of like Javier said, leave it as an open forum, but a place where we can grow from one another, learn from each other. And if you are afraid, but you are working on something on the backlog and you just don't know what to do, let's talk about it. Let's figure out the ways that
Hmm.
we can help you and you can help us, and we can work as a team, because that's what this is all about. This is about
Yes,
building
amen.
unity,
Hmm.
a great community, a place where we can just have great conversation. We can laugh about our superheroes and our villains and what makes them exciting, what makes them, who they are in our lives per se. And even if they're different, we may not all have the same likes as far as who our hero is,
Right.
but we all have, I believe, a superhero in our lives. And I think it's important that we just kind of just gather everyone's thoughts and kind of lay them out on the table, and let's just, dive into them and see what we get out of it, because who knows where it could take us. This could take us to so many different levels,
Yes.
and we can learn from you as well as you can learn from us. And we want to learn. There's nothing wrong with building and growing,
Hmm.
especially in a new community. And I like to learn, like, what's happening, what are the big events, and like what trends there are with fandom and cultural topics, and get excited about it. I mean, I have a teenage daughter that loves anime.
Hmm.
She's an amazing artist. I'm telling her she needs to get on this show and just
Oh, for
even show
sure, for sure.
some of her art is fantastic. I have another, my oldest daughter is a published author, and she actually runs the bookstore. So she's definitely a
Nice.
book guru. So she could tell you a lot as well. But if that's you, if we're speaking to you and you have ideas that you want to share, don't be afraid to bring them up, and let's talk about them, and let's just dive in and have great conversation, because that's basically what this is about.
Correct. Yep. I couldn't agree with you more. And I love that, we all have people in our lives that are uh, talented and have these gifts, and we have that we can share to other people. Because I want people that when they listen to the show, or whatever, and they listen to someone that may be in the same position they are right now and have stepped out of that and have got bigger and better, and what their road was to where they are now. Because not everyone's walk or road is the same, right? We all reach a certain level at a certain pace at a certain time. Not everybody becomes, number one podcast. We're not old Joe Rogan here. We all can't, become $1 billion, but we all have a purpose here, and God has a reason for everything. And if this can be a place where you can just talk about, and like Mickey said, an idea about a book, or an idea of something that you have in your heart that you said, I just want to share it, then we're here to listen to it. We're here to talk about it. Um, there's so many people out there that are just, I guess, misrepresented, or so much talent out there that hasn't been touched or hasn't been seen. And I think, especially in the Christian world, uh, so many people are afraid to show who they are in artistic wise, because they might be afraid they offend, or not be in that sense. But the way I see it, imagination is imagination, creativity is creativity. Only God creates, the devil destroys. So what you create is because God created it. Now we always want to make sure that what we do is all on God's grace and understanding. We don't want to offend anyone or God or anything like that. But there are people who are manga artists, who are comic book artists, who are just artists in general, and do certain type of art. You know, don't be afraid. Come to us, talk to us. If we can help you find resources where you can share your faith and share your idea and your thought, then that's what we're here for. We want to have fun here. We want to laugh. We want to, and it's not just about, we're going to talk about video games. We're going to talk about music, um, movies, just anything in the all around pop culture realm. But there's always God in the center of it. We never take pop culture above what God is. We always put pop culture under God and see how we can share our faith and share our love of stuff through God's eyes. And I think we're doing that here. I pray to God we are. I think people enjoy our conversations. I know we've just started these live, or face-to-face videos on YouTube. So we appreciate you guys following us on YouTube. We just started. So, any follow, any like, any comments, that would be amazing, because that would help us grow. Um, and I know that Mickey has some things going on in the kitchen, and I think they're exciting. I'm excited for them. I'm looking forward to being part of that as well. But Mickey, I know that you have some new podcasts coming up, or you have some podcasts that you're working on, and I want you to share that with our listeners.
Well, there's always something cooking. We eat every day,
Yeah.
so it seems
Hmm.
like, there's always a new recipe, and sometimes we get ahead of ourselves, and sometimes we burn it, sometimes it turns out perfect. So
Correct.
it
Yeah.
just kind of
Facts.
depends. But
Hmm.
yeah, I am, I have Until My Watch is Over podcast that is about dementia. And a lot of people look at dementia like it's a downer, like it's, and it is. My book actually that I'm writing is called Dementia is a Killer. And yeah, that doesn't sound like an exciting read, but let me tell you, there's a lot to it. And so that's what that podcast is about. Talks about the do's and the don'ts, the ins and the outs, what works, what doesn't work. Same with this podcast. We want to do the same thing when it comes to animation and character design and art form. Are you going pen to paper? Are you going digital? Are you using AI,
AI,
or
right?
is it all your own imagination? Or is it a 50-50 mix? What is it that you're presenting and using that's working well for you? And I know, like for myself, as I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm developing, um, the ideas are just coming at me like whoo, whoo, and I know Javier is probably 10 times faster than me. He's way ahead of me. He worked so hard on this podcast. He's such a great creator. And by the way, if you need any type of logos or any type of creation, get a hold of Javier because he's your guy. He's going to help you
Thank
in
you.
those areas. He's great. He's helped me do my logo. He does some of the music for my intros on my podcast and bringing in the verbiage for me to help start out my podcast. He knows how to do all that. He can walk you through it if you're learning. And he's just a great person for using him as a resource, basically.
Hmm.
I think I can look
Sure.
up to Javier and be like, hey, help me. I need help with this. And
Yeah, for sure. We both work both ways. Trust me. I will. You know me. I ask you for your thoughts always. I never try to do anything, but I appreciate that, and it's a love of what I do. But anyway, keep going. I know that you
oh
have
yeah, oh yeah.
some
So
other shows coming out.
as far as on the back burner, or what's brewing right now, I am working on another podcast. I'm not even going to announce that yet because it's still in the works. But
Hmm.
um, we just have to be careful and mindful that we don't overwhelm ourselves, that we don't dogpile or topple our plates with too much. Um, you want it to be meaningful, and you want it to
Hmm.
be resourceful, and you want it to be useful, and we just want there to be purpose in it. And I think that this podcast brings a lot of purpose to the table. And I think that as we share our creativity and what we do, and we help one another through it, we can go a long ways. And in the podcast world, especially, it's such a popular type of entertainment that people like. They enjoy listening and watching and engaging and just getting ideas from us. And and I know it stirs more ideas in everyone else's mind as well as we're speaking. And so I think as far as the back burner goes, I know that with this podcast specifically, um, we really want to dive into a lot of different topics. So it's it we're going to try to keep it narrowed in each week on a topic so we don't get too elaborate or go too far or too
Right.
fast. But we do want to talk about what the writer, where does the writer come up with the script that they're talking about, or what about like your when you first start your drawing, and your rough draft, and you're looking at it, and like when you're looking at the picture, where does it take you? And then when you look at the finished result, I don't know about you, Javier, but when I start something and I look at the result, sometimes it's not always what I imagined in the beginning, but it turns out
Hmm.
to be different.
Oh yeah,
And
for
sometimes I
sure.
like it, sometimes I don't. And
Hmm.
sometimes I have to go back to the drawing board. And I think that's with everything in life that we do. We encounter that all through our lives. And the thing is if we don't take that step forward and use our momentum and the gifts that God gave us, then we just sit idle, and
Hmm.
we become, it's like wasted time, wasted space, wasted. And so let's try to be productive and fulfill our dreams. I have a lot of dreams. I know Javier has a ton of
Hmm.
dreams, and so we want to talk about those and just elaborate on them. And we want to bring you on as a guest. If you want to be a guest, come on here and share your story with us. Share what you're working on, how you're progressing, or if you're stuck and you want some information. We're here to help with that. That's
Hmm.
kind of what we're here for.
Hmm.
And like I said, we want to learn from you, and we want to be able to help you as well.
Awesome. That's exactly what I wanted to say, and Mickey just said it perfectly. We want you to be a guest. We want guests on our show. We want as many as we can talk to. I love talking to people. We both do. We enjoy good conversation. We enjoy civil discourse. We enjoy all that. And also, if we don't agree, we agree to disagree. That's what God's love is, right? We agree, but we don't judge. And uh, and that's what I want to be here. I may not agree with every artist that comes on the show, but I want to talk to you. I want to learn. I want to. We both want to know what clicks in your mind, like what's in your heart, what makes who you are and do what you do. Like artists and authors, musicians, um, speakers,
Mhm.
people. Like if you want to be a speaker and you feel nervous and you want to get on the show and talk to us to break that ice, you're more than welcome, to come on and just talk and feel comfortable on the mic or whatever. We're here. Um, so, we like Mickey said, we have plans in the work for a bunch of things. My mind goes about 1,000 miles an hour. If people know me, I'm always either generating something, creating something, or something. And I think that's what content creation is about, always keeping content going. But I'm learning not to stress myself out, not trying to overperform, because then you tend to push and it comes out bad or ugly. Um, and you want to, everything we do here on the show, we want to honor God with it. We don't want to just be podcasters just for the heck of being podcasters. There's a purpose for this show. There's a purpose for all our shows. And again, you don't have to be a Christian to get on the show. Please, I want people to understand that. You don't have to have full faith or whatever. If you're an artist, any type of person who loves pop culture and just wants to have a nice conversation, and if we bring the topic of God in, just know that that's part of what we are. And if you feel comfortable with that, listen, reach out to us. You can either DM me, or you can DM Mickey. You can email us. All the things that whatever you want to talk about. And like Mickey said, I have other podcasts that are coming out, and she said I'm not going to mention them because it's still in a work in progress. But they are exciting, and I'm looking forward to doing them. And also about the Sasquatch Syndicate Studios. Everybody knows that I have put out my stuff. I'm always generating a design or something like that. So that's what God put in my heart. I do, and I want people. I'm going to be 100% transparent. I use AI. I use every type of AI generation I can use, but the idea is my idea. And what I like to explain it how is I'm have amazing ideas in my head, but I don't have the talent or the skill set to put it on there. And we're talking about art, design, stuff like that. I have amazing ideas. I just can't draw for the life of me. If you ask me to draw a face, I'll probably mess it up. But my idea, I can write it down and the AI will then generate it. And that is amazing to me. That means I can create stuff at last that I thought I could never do, and represent the show, and do stuff for people that just don't have that skill set. And I enjoy doing them. I love seeing people's visions come alive, their ideas and everything. So again, if you guys are interested, you can always reach out to me, and I'm open to different things. I will design your logo, your music, whatever you may need. Or if you have questions, on how to do certain things, I'll be more than glad to try and work out with you. So again, we are looking for you guests. We're looking for some amazing people on this show. We've had some amazing people on this show, and they have been a blessing to us. And shout out to Rory, Wanda, and I keep forgetting her
Bethany.
name. Bethany. Yes, Bethany. Thank you, my love. They were such pleasures to be on the show, and especially for that being our first show, like our first or second show together and with host. I think it was really cool. And with Rory getting on, being our first guest. If people don't know Rory Paquette, he is one of the coolest people you will ever meet, and he is one of the smartest people when it comes to podcasting and speech, and just being all around content stuff. So if you are looking for that, I would definitely recommend Rory. I will put down his information in the comments. I will also put Mickey's for the other podcast on there as well, so that we can you can share that. And Rory would be a blessing to anyone. He's been a blessing with me. He's been a blessing to Mickey, and we've grown. And I think he is the person that you should come see or talk to, even have a conversation. He's one of the coolest people you can talk to. He was my first. I think I was his first show person on the show that he had now, and I was the first person that I interviewed with. So that's exciting. And Mickey was the second. You were the second one when I first started doing this whole face-to-face podcast thing with other people. But it's been fun. It's been a heck of a ride. It's been stressful. It's been fun. It's been sad. There's been some little bit of disappointments in things, but I think that happens in all our lives, right? Not everything is perfect. Not everything runs 100%. And, but so far, we've been blessed in this show. We've been blessed to have some really nice people, and we're looking forward to really, really getting into the pop culture realm, and touching base on all these things that we just love. From, it could even be tech stuff. I'm a huge techie. I love tech. So if you are a guy who loves software and wants to talk about the software you're creating, or maybe you created a Bible app, if you an app creator, that's still creation. That's still something that God. You're more than welcome to come on the show. We can talk about it. We can, even if we don't know anything about that, we will definitely talk about it because we're both here to learn.
Yeah.
Me and Mickey do not know 99% of what's out there. We know what we know and we'll share it, but we want people to come in to share with us because, like I said, this is therapy for me. It's a therapy for Mickey. It helps our souls, our growth, our mental health. Um, so yeah, we really are looking forward to talking to new guests and everything else. You can
Yeah.
find us on graceandgrindministries.com. That's where pretty much everything is under. I am working on getting a separate only uh, website for the podcast, just alone for the podcast, so that it has its own world, its own place where people can and people have art and stuff. I can post it up there and just help them generate uh, advertisement for them and anything like that. And if anybody's interested in advertising with us, we're open to it as well. We'd love to share your idea with the world or for the listeners who listen to us. And again, thank you for those who watch and listen. You know who you are. We thank you so much for your support. Um, Again, like I said, this is going to be a pretty short episode, not much, but we both wanted to get something out because we missed last week. We both had craziness as the world comes in. We have things that we need to do. And again, I apologize for missing a week. I learned that we should at least do one a week so that we don't lose and like I said, I'm learning. This is all new to me and having a co-host and having someone to bump off ideas because I've been doing this by myself forever. And I really, really am excited. So, again, you can find us on graceandgrindministries.com. You can find us on Facebook. We are Compass Chronicles Podcast is our Facebook page. We have Mickey has her website and her page. You can also follow her there. I'll put all these things in the show notes so everybody can click and find them. Again, Mickey, it's always a blessing to have you with me. We have so much fun when we talk and when we discuss things. And I can't even imagine what's going to go on and the things and the ideas that we both have are just going to be, you guys are going to be really surprised and really happy and excited. I hope you guys will be just excited as we are. And we want you to be that excited. We want you to come in, join, lock in and follow us so you don't miss any new episodes or any things that come up. I'm always putting up stuff that if Mickey has a show, I'll put it up. If Mickey, anything, I'm always there to support our fellow podcasters. So,
Absolutely.
I want podcasters to come to us and talk to us. Hey, what are you doing wrong? Or what I did this wrong and I couldn't, And also, again, I can't reiterate Rory more. If you have those real difficult questions and stuff, and you need help, I would recommend follow him and work with him. Again, thank you so much, Mickey, and thank you everyone for listening to this very short episode. But we wanted to just tell you all the exciting things that are coming and may come and will come. And we just ask that God, blesses you this weekend. Whenever you hear this, that God is in your presence and that you are blessed. And whatever, remember that God loves you. Christ is the only way. And, with that, I will tell Mickey to send us off.
Thank you for that. That was a good one. I do want to say that, and I think Javier could agree with me on this, that in this podcast, as much fun as we want to have, we just need to remember that we want to keep it civil. Like you said, if we have a disagreement, we're going to agree to disagree, and also we want to keep it clean. We know there are some comics and some movies and some music and some very secular stuff in the world. Which some of those still have great stories to them, but we just need to be careful because this is still faith-based. So we want to make sure that we're just watching our verbiage and we're not throwing out the F-bomb and
Thank you for refreshing that.
Heated discussion. We want to just keep it real civil and on the down low, and just to have it, just keep it really respectful. Not just because it's the right thing to do, but also because it honors God. So I just wanted to throw that in there. But yeah, I'm super excited to see where we're going to go. I can't wait to learn from you guys. And Javier, I learn from you all the time. That's why I follow you so closely, because you teach me so much stuff. And same with Rory. I feel like I'm just like hanging on to his tail feather, like,
Yes.
teach me more. So, but I
Facts.
think that's what it's all about, is just learning and growing and gaining, a broader spectrum from where we start from. And that's, how we get from point A to point B to
Mhm.
so on, is by, just learning and being willing to learn and having that openness to learn, from one another, and not just always thinking that we know it all. Because I know I don't know it all. Like you said, I
Yeah.
know about 99% of it. I don't know,
Yeah.
but
We
the
are
1% I
facts.
know, I do know, like
Right.
what
Right.
you know, I know you're
Right.
good at what you do. And that's why I don't pretend to know what you know, because I don't know it. So, but I
Yeah.
will go to you for
It's
it.
like in anything, for sure. For sure.
So,
There's
and I
stuff
do
that I
thank you
don't know.
for
Right.
that.
No, thank
Yeah.
you.
So,
Um,
everyone listening, I just want to say thank you for
mhm.
joining us on Compass Chronicles, where fandom meets faith. And we cannot wait to have you guys hook up with us. So,
Yes.
reach out if you want to be a guest. Don't hesitate to say, "Hey, I think this is what I want to do," and send us a message to Javier or even myself, and let us
Mhm.
know, and we will get you scheduled so we could have a great conversation with you.
Perfect. All right, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
You've been listening to the Compass Chronicles podcast, where fandom meets faith. Hosted by Javier and Mickey. Thank you for joining us today. We hope this conversation gave you something worth thinking about and carrying forward. Be sure to follow the show for new episodes as we continue exploring faith through the stories shaping our world. Until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and keep your compass pointed true.